we do a brief update on what's going on.
Yes, you're going to have to fully brief all of us. I know this happened overnight here, but I do think it's an important story.
Yeah, so
Sudan mass killings.
Yeah,
happening.
the town of Al Fashir was where the kind of Syrian army capital has been in North Darfur, and there's been this civil war going on since 2023, and the UAE has come in heavily. United Arab Emirates has come in heavily on the side of what's called the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces. And a year ago, the U.S. State Department said the RSF is committing ethnic cleansing in Darfur and in Sudan. And the support of the UAE has continued to pay. So you can put up A8 here. And so Al Fashir finally yesterday, and over the last couple of days, but it has kind of now fully fallen to the RSF. And what you're looking at here are a ton of people rounded up by the RSF who, as we understand it, and there is much more disturbing video that would confirm this that we're not going to show you here, were then executed. And this is not the first time that the RSF has taken over a city, and estimates of civilian massacres as a result have been over 10,000, like in a particular city. Like this absolute horrific bloodbath. If we put up A9, a lot of the OSINT people online are saying they have never seen visible blood from space.
But what precipitated this?
What precipitated this precisely is Al Fashir has been basically surrounded by the RSF for a year and a half, and it's one of the remaining key strongholds of the SAF, their opposition, so what precipitated the massacre was that they finally managed to break through and take it. What precipitated it more broadly is gold. Basically, Sudan has significant wealth underneath its.
And why is the UAE supporting this militia?
So the UAE, the UAE has this massive Africa play that it's been doing. The UAE is supporting African proxy forces all over the continent, like absolutely everywhere. And the UAE, like Qatar, is technically a country, but it's more like an investment vehicle / mafia.
Sure.
That is trying to figure out how to take this wealth that has come out of the ground, this fossil fuel wealth that it's created in the last several decades, and only several decades, like 50 years ago or so. This is a deeply poor area. Now it's like the richest place on Earth. They know that that's not going to last forever. At some point, you tap the last bit of natural gas and oil. And so their question is, what next for us? And what's next for them is that they're building ports and creating alliances all over Africa for the continued extraction of natural resources and funding all of these civil conflicts to make it easier for them to then get access. Oftentimes, kind of arming both sides of the conflict. But in this case, they've really thrown their lot in with RSF. And we could put up A11 real quick to show that how much this is escalating. So this is the foreign relations chairman saying, quote, the horrors, the Republican, the horrors in Darfur's Al Fashir were no accident. They were the RSF's plan all along. I think that's true. The RSF has waged terror and committed unspeakable atrocities, genocide among them, against the Sudanese people. The RSF must be called what it is, a foreign terrorist organization and officially designated as one. America is not safer, secure, or more prosperous with the RSF slaughtering thousands. And so, to hear Jim Risch talk like that makes you ask the question, wait a minute, hold on a second. So you're saying that our ally, the UAE, is a major terrorist financer? Because that's what you have to say. If Like if you agree with that statement, which is
Can
true.
I put my cynic hat on here
Yeah.
a little bit? You know, whenever it's a conflict that doesn't involve Israel, unspeakable atrocities and genocide amongst them. Right, Darfur was the original, one of the original, quote unquote genocides of the 21st century in the early 2000s. After Rwanda, it was supposed to be never again. It actually didn't really work. Why does America suddenly care? They say America is not safer, secure, or more prosperous with RSF slaughtering thousands. Is there a deeper thing going on here, or is this just exposed like the human rights industrial complex?
So I wish Ken Vogel was here because it'd be. I'm curious, like which different faction, Ken Vogel being the Times reporter that we interviewed.
Yes.
You guys also interviewed, who does all the foreign lobbying. Yeah, it's a good question. Like what foreign lobbying is going on that gets statements like this? On the other hand, the level of atrocity is reaching like heights that are difficult to ignore, even for Americans when it comes to Africa. Americans are pretty good at ignoring what's going on in Africa, just across the board, and ignoring things almost everywhere, including even people say, "Well, what about the protests around Gaza?" But Gaza has significantly fallen off the last year or so. The mainstream news also, like it's just the U.S. It's just not something that people are paying attention to. So yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on in Washington that is now putting this pressure on the UAE's proxies in Sudan, but I'm sure I think they also posted, they were a little bit more aggressive in what they posted on social media this time than in the last mass massacre of 10 to 15,000 people. They didn't elevate it in the same way.
Yeah, but if I were the Sudanese, I'd be like, you people are really going to lecture me about massacres and after what you just funded going on in Israel? They kind of have a point, right? And same with the UAE. They're like, really? Like, you're going to talk to me about who I get to send money to?
Yeah.
Whether it's in my strategic interest or not? Get out of here.
Right. What did the RSF get? Surrounded an area and wouldn't let food and aid in.
Exactly.
And then killing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's dark.
No, yes. Opening that and letting that out into the world.
I also think that explains the social media activity. They're like, we can post whatever we want.
Right, we can do what we want.
Right, we can do anything that we want.
Look, because they're seeing it on their phones out of Gaza all day long. Wait a minute.
Of course.
They're doing this?
Exactly.
We're going to do this.
It's very sad. And I'm glad you are following it. I honestly, I hate to say, I haven't really been familiar. I followed
It's a
Darfur
big world.
A little bit back 20
filled
years
with
ago.
Violence and terror.
Or so, exactly. Not a huge ton of U.S. strategic interest or any of that in the region, but suddenly Washington is waking up. I'll be honest with you, even though I obviously see what's happening here, anytime I start to see the word genocide and all that's being just thrown around by the State Department, I'm like, something's going on here. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm a little suspicious. Suddenly Marco Rubio cares about human rights and all of that. I'm like, I don't know about this, Brian.
Yeah, and we could end this overnight too and be like, look, UAE, you're getting sanctioned, and your whole little sovereign wealth fund here.
They're not going to do that.
But they're not going to do that.
Yeah, they will never do that.
Right.
Especially first of all, after what we did.
We're fine with it.
The Saudis, and Yemen. This is just long-standing U.S. policy. I'm always just fascinated about what everyone in Washington starts to care about.
Yeah, and
the reason my spidey senses go up is I'm like, it's never about the actual killings. There's usually something else going on, and I'm just, and the
UAE sees this as a sphere of influence for them too. They can have geopolitical advantages. Like the UAE hates Hamas as well, and there was this push a year ago. What if we get everybody in Hamas to just go to Sudan? So in order to do that, the RSF has to then take over all of Darfur, which they basically now control. What they are also finding is the same thing that Israel's arguing to the public, which is that you can actually just do the ethnic cleansing. You can do the genocide, get away with it, and then people will forget about it. It's more important to win, and then people will just move on. So RSF is right now, in a brutal fashion, winning.
Yes. Well, look at Azerbaijan and Armenia. The same thing, same exact thing happened. Not that anybody apparently here cared. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.